Private sales are one of the best ways to make a lot of money in this industry, because if you invest a game from the ground up, you get it at its cheapest token price, you're going to get big returns potentially on token generation event if it does big X's, and then you can get regular income for the next 2 years with vesting periods that if the coin remains stable or goes even higher, you start getting really good income that will set you up potentially for the rest of your life, because you can use that money to reinvest into other projects. And that is really what I want the Shiny Ventures Guild to be about. So this is a new project that we set up on the channel, a guild where anybody from the community can get access to a private sale. So we're going to be talking about all our private sales in the past that we've got into. So hopefully you get a good understanding of what your expectations should be around private sales, exactly how much we've made potentially from some of these so far. And by the way, we're very much in the early days. We have probably got involved in about 10 private sales in total, and from them, some of them have made, one of them gave us a chance to win $150,000 like 7 days after token generation event. These can be really lucrative, so we're going to be going through the ones that we've got coming up and talking a bit about Shiny Ventures Guild as well, so you've got a good understanding of expectations getting into that. Before we get into today's video though, we are doing Watch to Earn, of course, because it's sponsored. So if you want a chance to win one of 5 lots of 60 USDT, go to the comment section, post anything down below that you want. Go to the Discord in the competition wallet section, post your wallet address and post your YouTube name, and you'll have a chance to be selected from those winners. Today's video is sponsored by Sapphire Studios, the creators of Gold Inc., a place where you can mine real gold and build a real business in the world's most expansive mass multiplayer online game. Gold Inc. allows you to grow your real world net worth while building a realistic mining empire. You can own finite land with real-world value, ally with friends, and rule over 10,000 players via the open-world governance system. The benefits of playing include the fact that you can download this and it's free to play on App Store and Google Play Store. You can even play it on your computer. You can find and own regular claims to mine gold, which will be freely exchangeable for GXP once it launches. This means that you can make a living off the game. The idea is that any player at any given time can own claims to support a healthy income. Once GXP launches, the value of it will grow every day. You can download now on Android and iOS via the links down below, and you can join the Discord community to keep up to date with any changes around the game. Okay, let's get into today's episode. So sometimes as we do videos, rather than offering money, they offer us private allocations, and Crabada was one of those that did that. They gave us an allocation, and it was $1,000 worth. So we invest with these, by the way, we have to pay money to be able to get those allocations. So we send these projects money, and then we do promotional material for them. So it's a big risk when you're doing that in this industry, that you're not going to get paid for the work that you do. But when this launched, we got about 54,000 CRA tokens, and I sold that very early on. I've never seen that much come out of a token generation event. It was $17,000, so we sold off. But then as time went by, the amount that it went for, well, actually maybe it wasn't, maybe we got more than that, because I know that it was $150,000 at its highest. That's how much we could have sold for if we'd held for a week. And even through that, Crabada has been holding, and in a bear market has seen some really big increase in its price. So this was a huge project to get in on, and this is one of our biggest success stories for the amount that we invested, $1,000. And as we've gone along, we've started getting access to bigger projects with bigger allocations. So let's move on to allocation number 2, GamesPad. GamesPad, we got given a $2,000 allocation. So again, we pay $2,000 to them, send $2,000 to them, and they send us, and they give us an allocation. So GamesPad, we've got, I believe, about 10% on token generation event. Actually, no, it's 10% after a month. And as you can see, that $2,000 that we invested is currently at $1,675 worth of tokens. And if we were to sell it when it first when we first actually got the allocation, we could have sold it for $2,000 and got our returns straight away. But GamesPad is one that we definitely see long-term as a long-term hold. With these launch pads, if they start to get really good projects underneath them, like Seedify, I think it's currently around $5, so we could see a 10x from here, and then we'd be getting the rest of our vesting. So let's talk about vesting periods. 10% we've got so far. That leaves 90% left, which we will be getting monthly. So every month, I think it's for the next 18 months or so, we'll be getting 5%. This means we'll be getting 1,684 tokens every month, which if you were to, have its current rate, so times that by 18, we'd get 30,312. So currently our GamesPad is worth a fair amount of money. So currently at current price, it is about $15,000. So from a $2,000 investment, it's currently worth $15,000, but obviously it's a vesting period. Price could go down. It might not be a successful launchpad. So private sales are a big risk, because if you're not going to get that return for a long time, if that continues to go down, it's not going to be worth anything by the time you start to get it and by the time you've been paid in full. GamesPads though are generally probably going to be more stable than investing in a game, because they don't have payouts to do in terms of play to earn. And yeah, I see that as having long-term potential. If it reached the heights of Seedify, obviously we would be 10x from that position, times 10, and we're looking at, I know it's divided by 2. We'd be looking at $151,000 from a $2,000 investment if we were to hold all the way up to if it reached $5. So that's investment number 2. Let's take a look at another one that we've invested in very recently, MetaGear. Again, fully open about this. We wanted to try and secure enough for the community to be able to get as part of the Shiny Ventures Guild. Really wish we did. We pushed them for it, but we didn't get that allocation. We got a private allocation for ourselves, which is to date our third biggest allocation. We got $10,000 allocation, so we had to send them $10,000, and with that we promised that we will support the project in terms of doing content around IDOs, content around, so it's a lot of content that usually costs around $1,500 to $2,000 a video, and primarily picked this project because I believe it's going to be really big. I think it's going to be a strong project, and it just blew my expectations out the water. As I stated, this was going to be a 100x project, and this has done really well, really well. From what was 2 cents to purchase this, 2 cents, 0.02, has now gone all the way up to 52, so 53, which is a 25x. So currently our 25,000, did we invest that? Our 10,000 investment is sitting at 25x that. So that's a $250,000 of tokens if we were to get them all now. With MetaGear, there was an 8% unlock on token generation event. 2 months cliff. If you don't know what a cliff is, it means you will not be getting any tokens for 2 months, whatever the cliff is determined. Sometimes it's locked to do a 2 months locked as well. Same thing. And so in 2 months time, we would start getting 5% allocation every month. And yes, this is absolutely skyrocketed. I mean, you didn't even need to get in on the private round to be able to benefit from this. You just needed to follow us early and get in when it was really low, 0.09, and then you would have made a 5x from there yourself. But if this price remains stable, then it's going to look really good. If it does what Bomb Crypto did, which is going up to $8 for Bomb Crypto, the equivalent, this started at 2 cents. Bomb Crypto started at 4 cents on public. So it's probably, if it did $8 on Bomb Crypto, then what we'd be looking for, ideally, if it did the same thing, is to get to $4. So it went all the way up to $8.50. We'd be looking to get to $4. Now, if we got to $4, obviously that's an 8x from that position, which is insane. because if it 8x'd and you got your whole allocation, that is $2 million. But by the time we sell, if it follows the same course of on crypto, and these play to earn games often do, unless they have future incentives to hold token and purchase it, you might see that price comes down. And this was you got a small window to be able to sell at its highest, a very small window. Within a month, that price has gone up and down very quickly. But yeah, that's just a really good example of how a private investment can really pay off big. I mean, from 8% that we got on token generation event, that was about 40,000 tokens. So this isn't our shared business wallet. So 40,000 gear tokens, currently valued at $20,000, 2x from our investment just on that initial investment. And that is why we set up the Shiny Ventures Guild, is to be able to give people access to these opportunities. But these opportunities don't always pay off. They are a big risk with those vesting periods. Sometimes on launch, they don't do as well as this. So let's go to an example of where that has happened. Best example for us, SoulChicks. This token has not done well from launch. This had a very interesting vesting period, 25% on unlock on token generation event, 25% a month later, 25% another month later, and 25% another month later. And so if that was like what MetaGear is, it would be hugely lucrative. So for private investment, we got $10,000 allocation. Now, whether this was lucrative or not did actually depend on when we sold. So we actually held this token and have held this token throughout since getting it on token generation event. I think after the 100% has been paid out, they are going to be doing some big marketing and big developments in the game in Q2 of 2022. And I think we're just at this point, we're going to hold through it. But it could go down even further. This token upon launch went all the way up to 15 cents. Now, with it being at 15 cents, we could have sold then, I think the highest that we could have sold was at around $16,000. And because we got the claim feature before other people did, some people did, basically the claim function was broken. And if you got it within the first couple of minutes and it worked for you, then it went down for a bit. And in that period, you could have gone on to MEXC exchange and sold some of your token. We didn't do that because we honestly, we thought it would do better than it has done. But this has continued to go down. So this is a good example of a private investment that is all about when do you sell and are you willing to hold it and take that hit and see that your token is not doing very well. Because where we're currently at is we've held all through this and not sold any. And at 25% plus another 25% is currently worth around $2,500. Which means we are 7,500 down so far, and we've still got 2 payments to come though. And yeah, like you could buy in for $10,000 now, and you would have more tokens than we would. So sometimes private sales don't always pay off in the short term. Remember, this is a project that has in Q2 is where things are happening. So you're gonna have to wait. But even if it does 10x from its position, we're gonna make those returns. It's just about how long are you willing to wait and not sell off and hold during those dips, because a dip is hard to hold it. They are harder psychologically to hold, but if you do, you can get a big payout. So we are holding our $2,500 worth of SoulChicks, and when we get paid our next ones, we'll probably continue to hold, waiting for that big increase. If it does similar things to what MetaGear is doing now upon game creation, then potentially we could see some big returns. Another example of one that did not pay off, or has not so far, is Battle of Guardians. So this is a project we got $2,000 private allocation for, and we did not get much back on this one. I think it was like a 5% on token generation event and 5% for the next 18 months, 19 months, whatever it is. And currently the token sits at 0.0925. I don't know if that's the legit one. Where is it? I have some here. BGS, that's one. $2, 2.5 cents, sorry. And yeah, this one's not done very well at all. Has lost 50% of its value within the first couple of days. It's all about the game production though. The game, if it gets produced, it could do very well. We've also got half our allocation in MetaMask and half in Solana. So you can see that it's currently worth $61. $61 or $120 that we've got off a $2,000 investment, but it's 5%. And you know, we've got, I think it's 5%, it's either 5% or 10%. But even if we got another 10 lots of what we currently have, that would be $1,200. $1,200. So it wouldn't be a huge loss, because I think it's got a lot of room to grow from here. And you know, this is private sale. It was 2 cents. So you could buy in now. It was 3 cents for public sale. You could buy in for this project cheaper than it was a public sale. I don't know why it's got an unlocked wallet holding 100% of BGS. This is one of those ones that is, you know, with a private sale, they're all risks. But I think if they produce the game that they're trying to work on, it could be a huge success and we could see some big progress on that. What other private sales have we invested in to date? Monster Infinite is one. As an ambassador, we do get some allocation. I'm not able to disclose that amount, but that is one that we have earned from. There's been a lot of buys and sells. There's some of these buys, you know, along here. I've believed in the project and it's just gone down. I think the people have lost a little bit of faith in it because it has started to come down significantly over the past few months, as people have seen they haven't hit the targets on the roadmap. But they're still working on it, and if they can eventually get it out, when that happens, I think we could see it pick back up. It's just about holding them, also doing your breeding whilst you're going through that. You might be set up very nicely for when the game is produced, but I do think they need to be a little bit quicker on that one. That one actually is one where we didn't have to pay for an allocation. We just got an allocation of their tokens that they have as part of their token pool. So that was a fairly risk-free one. Let's talk about another one that we've done in the past before. Private allocations we have 4 is FOTA. So Fight of the Ages. We had to do a video for this. So again, we offer social support. FOTA is one that we're still waiting on because we haven't got to launch. But they've got. I mean, the thing is interesting is you look on this and you think that they're involved. Microsoft is involved with this. Like they put it as a partner. Partner just means if you use some of their software, Microsoft Mesh they're using. They're a partner now. Gaming projects under the hybrid of MOBA RPG. I think this one's going to be very big. You know, huge following, 222 followers. We got a 3K allocation for that, which we paid for. And yes, this is one that looking forward to see where it lands on token generation event. Beta coming soon for this. It's a MOBA RPG. Yeah, uses Microsoft Mesh. Empowered to connect to the FOTA metaverse anytime, anywhere from your device you're using. Once you get in, you can react real time with your team and other players. The FOTA heroes from 3 other different worlds: Greenland, the Earth, and Nightmare. Why have to cope with geographical boundaries when you can join FOTA metaverse? So this could be something really interesting. I think it's offering a lot of unique features in comparison to other blockchain games. And yeah, I think as you can see, put it in partners and backers. But yeah, it's pretty good to have Microsoft, the name on there. I think that will draw a lot of people in just in itself. Fully doxed team, very strong project. That's what we try to look for in projects. Our first venture was Galaxy Blitz, and there, you know, we knew that if you're getting in on a private sale, you are getting in very early and the game, you're going to have to wait a while for it to be produced, because if you're looking at public sale, games take time for them to actually be released and fully developed. But this is one that we saw a lot of good potential. It's got some good partnerships that have been made recently. This is one that we are waiting on. This is a future public launch. They haven't had their IDOs yet. I think it's probably good that they're not launching the IDOs during a bear market, and maybe we'll see markets pick up, and that's when they'll hit with the IDOs and launch pads, and then will be interesting to see. This is one that we are going to be waiting long term. This is a real long-term hold in terms of tokens. Hopefully in the first 2 months we see it get to a good price. I think it's kind of like SoulChicks. If you're holding it for the long run, once it starts to pick up, the game starts to develop, things come out, big events, then these 60 months of vesting hopefully will hold a lot of value each month in terms of the tokens, and if you want to sell them. If you haven't already checked it out, go take a look at the Aperon. This is a game that we are next investing in. As I said, within the talking to the developers, the co-founder, he said, look, you're one of the early supporters of this. We'd like to potentially give you a $200 allocation with a discount with NFT package alongside it. That could be huge for the guild. And yeah, if you want to get involved in that, go complete the sign up form. The links to that group will be down in the description below. There's 2 Telegram groups, announcements, one's for announcements, no chat, and the other one for chatting. And happy to hear about other projects. If people want to bring in other projects to say, look, I've looked at this, we scout them out, try and get in touch with the developers and see if there's anything to be worked out, see whether we also, everything on the project, we do our due diligence and risk assess to the highest degree that you can, in terms of making sure that it is not a scam, making sure that it's a good team, and all the things that we've rarely come across a scam in terms of, that we've invested money in. We've no private sale have we invested in and not and seen that completely disappear and had a complete rug pull. So we're fairly confident in the projects that we select. Yeah, this is one that's going to be, I reckon, really fruitful for people. This is, again, a very long-term hold, because this is a big game, and we're going to take time for it to develop. But I think in a year's time, these tokens that we could be getting are going to be worth a lot of money, and people are going to be getting regular money. Depending, we don't know the vesting periods on these tokens yet, because they are pre-seed at the moment. They've just completed the pre-seed sale, so going into seed sale after that is a minimum of $320,000. So huge allocation. So let's finish off with Affine, and then we'll talk about a private sale investment that, well, is a different kind of version of private sale, and it was a huge opportunity. So but that was our biggest investment to date with SoulChicks and with MetaGear. Affine has been one that we've recently got in contact with. We made this deal about 2 days before it actually launched the token, and so we sent the tokens to them, and we got $5,000 allocation, and I think we got 8% on token generation event, and that was about 5,000 Affine tokens. And as you can see, it's at $1.40. So straight away on token generation event, for only 8%, we've got a return back on that one if we decide to sell, and more. So we've actually got $7,000 worth of Affine tokens, and that is just 10%. In 10 days time, there will be 1% daily vesting of, actually I think we've got 10% on token generation event, actually I think 1% will be 500 tokens, so potentially getting $700 a day for the following 90 days, which is huge. So that offers a very good opportunity for making some good money that will, potentially down day out be really good for us. It could go higher once we see this trailer release. Obviously with these daily vesting periods, we might see that it starts to go down for the following 90 days. But yeah, it'll be interesting. It depends whether people will hold or sell. But that's a good example of one where, you make an investment and you see those returns very quickly. They're a lot rarer. Those quick return of investment on token generation event, and some people then can can decide whether to sell and then just take profit on everything else you get after that, which can be quite satisfying. But sometimes you don't want to do that. You don't want to sell. Like if you sold this straight away, You know, if you sold it at 77 cents, you'd be at $4,000, and then you'd have missed out on that extra $3,000. So it's a really difficult to risky game. There's no like, you know, hold all the time or sell all the time. You don't want to sell all the time. Sometimes you want to hold these tokens, and sometimes, like SoulChicks, you would want to sell at the start, but you just can't know that in future unless doing some research into it can help you understand exactly where the market's going to go. But yeah, I mean, you can't 100% know. You really can't. And then the final investment I want to talk about is one that offers us so much in terms of future potential. And if you got in on this, there was an opportunity to get on this, not just by being a content creator, but by being somebody who's involved with the Cardi chain, by being a Diamond holder. And these sold for $10,000, these keys. So basically it is a key to their trip into the world of GameFi, and it means that they basically get all the money that people invested, and they go out and seek private partnerships, and these private partnerships bring in allocations, and so we can get guaranteed allocations for games like MetaGear is one of them that we've got, and then they've got a new game coming out. Now, this was a great investment long term because it means that, you know, we've got Myra for MetaGear, and that means we're going to be getting regular income for the next, you know, 18 months, I think is the vesting period on it. And we already got 10% after a month, I think. And I think that was like $2,000 worth of Myra at that point. And that was one of 7 projects that we're going to be able to get access to and get allocations. These allocations, we don't even have to pay for them. That as part of our investment, that $10,000 investment, we just get the tokens. So this one's a real, you know, $10,000 was a big investment. Shout out to Jimmy Crypto who signposted me to this and made me aware of it. But yeah, there was a lot of keys for sale, and if you picked one of these up, you got MetaGear, and then they're going to just seek future games, and each of those you will get allocations for. Hopefully they pick good projects. There is the risk that they're going to pick bad projects from here on. They could just pick anything, and we could see no return of investment, but you know, it's incentive for them. They're obviously holders as well, so they want the tokens to do well. So hopefully they pick some really good, strong projects, and we get some good allocations for that. So I'm really excited for this one. So as you can see, this is one where we're invested in 7 projects. We've got Affine, we've got Photo, we've got SoulChicks, we've got Crabada, we've got Galaxy Blitz. We've got so many investments in private sales right now. Once they start to get into those vesting periods, once we get past the cliffs, they'll be bringing in regular money for the channel, so they're very lucrative long term. But you've got to have the money to be able to invest in them. It can be hard to find it. You know, sometimes we've taken videos from another sponsorship and then put it directly into a private allocation, and not seen any returns, not sending any money for a while. But I just think these are going to be fruitful for the long term. As long as crypto holds, if you believe in the blockchain, you believe it's going to be the future, then it's a very good, solid investment. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. Something different. I just wanted to, you know, let you know about how lucrative private sales can be, and if anybody is on the fence about getting in on some of our private sales within the Shiny Ventures Guild, hopefully that will just answer any queries that you have around vesting periods and give you good expectations about how some of these private sales will pay off big time. Sometimes they'll just pay off a little, and sometimes they won't pay off at all. Depends massively also on whether you hold or you sell, and I'm judging all these projects based on them being in the first few months. In a year's time, my judgments on these projects could be very different, in that they could have by that time 10x to 100x, and we could be seeing huge returns. One thing I like about vesting periods is it forces you not to be able to sell, so it means you've always got a little something in the bank going forward in the future if some of these tokens hit. So if you want to be part of the Shiny Guild, all the links down below. Telegram group, there is a form at the moment where we're just getting people to state how much you would like to invest. It's not a commitment, it's just to gather a kind of sense of how much are we going to raise on this next one. Once we get confirmation from the co-founder of Apron that, you know, they've spoken with partners and it's all happy to go ahead, happy to give the allocation. By the way, private sale in March, so we might be waiting a long time before we get that. I think we might start the raise earlier this time. Last time we only had 48 hours to be able to do the raise. We still did it, still did the 70k. But if we had like a month of raise, then obviously it gives us a lot more time. We can also reach out to other pools if they want to get involved. Do read the disclaimer, make sure that you understand our fee is 10%. So we charge 10% of the total that you will invest. And that is really for the fact that we are going out seeking these. We're using our channel to be able to leverage that allocation. We're also going to be providing content to support these projects and help boost them and boost their economy in the future. We're also, you know, doing all the Excel documents to work out everybody's allocations. We're going to be distributing them for the next 2 years. It's a lot of work that goes into it, and you know, a lot of community pools charge 15 to 20%. So we are still offering something at a very good rate, we believe. But yeah, make sure that you're aware of that before getting involved. Okay, well, that's all for this one. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, please leave a like in the video. Hit subscribe if you want to keep up to date with future content. That is all from me. See you guys soon. And if you have made it to the end of the video, go down to the comment section and post MVS to show that you are one of our most valuable subscribers. Thank you. See you guys next time.